YouTube, what's good? This is the first episode in a new series I'm starting called What's My Beef? It's episode 1, and this is what I got beef with. How come in white America, when something happens, the consequences are never the same as it is when something happens in the black community? So what am I talking about specifically? Recently, there's been reports coming out that from different women that Donald Trump has been um, over the span of his career, engaging in sexually charged, inappropriate behavior toward women. These are the reports that have been coming out. The problem I have with this is a person who is representing the Republican Party in the presidential race. But there hasn't been any official consequences or ramifications for what he's done. Yet if you go a couple years back, when all these stories were coming out about Bill Cosby, he had all of his honorary degrees stripped from him. He had his television show, which we all remember, and it's one of the longest running television shows in the history of network television, The Cosby Show, pulled from network television. His legacy was basically destroyed. His career is over. Now, the way I see it, if you go 8 years back to the presidential election and Barack Obama is running for president, and these stories come out about him, a black man in America in a high position, running for the highest office in the world, and these types of stories come out, how is it that he's not immediately disqualified from becoming president? I don't think anybody could tell me that that wouldn't be the case, as unprecedented as something like that would be. I don't see how there's any reason that we could make the argument that these recent reports that are coming out about Donald Trump, whether they end up being proved to be true or not, because I'm not arguing whether or not a person's guilty or innocent. I'm arguing that in the court of public opinion and on the public stage, when you're in the public light and these types of stories come out, it's never about if they're true or not. It's never about if a person's guilty or innocent, because in a court of law, Bill Cosby was found to be innocent, but his career will never recover from the reports that have come out. He will never get those honorary degrees back. I'm sure that his television show will never be put back on network TV, and people will always look at him as being guilty of the reports that have come out about him, even though in a court of law, he was found not to be guilty. Now, my issue is, once something like this, and as far as a public figure goes, let alone someone who's running for president of the United States, these types of stories should automatically disqualify you from being anywhere near the Oval Office and representing this nation and being in the White House. Because if you look at why Bill Clinton, back in the 90s when he was president, when he was being impeached for having had an affair with Monica Lewinsky, it wasn't that what he was doing was illegal. It was the controversy and the way it looked, and it didn't look good for a president to be involved in that type of situation. It just doesn't look good. But yet Donald Trump is threatening to sue the New York Times, and there's one other, I think, newspaper or magazine, for putting out these stories in their putting out these articles in their paper, interviewing these women who are alleging that he did certain things, which would constitute sexual harassment, sexual assault, however it's classified legally. And they're being sent letters of cease and desist from his attorneys, which they've said there's really no reason why they feel like they should have to retract their stories, because there's really no proof that the reports that they're putting out are defamatory in nature, or they're assassinating his character or anything of that nature. It's just somebody who's reporting something, and then they're reporting on what happened. So even if he were to sue them, he would the burden of proof would be on him to prove that the allegations are just hearsay, or it's just defamation of character, or whatever the case. But my issue is not whether or not he did or didn't do it. My issue is, once these types of stories hit public media for the position that you were in, automatically I feel like it should disqualify you, because that's the same way that we would treat our African American celebrities and people who are in public positions who are African American. So it should apply indiscriminately across the board for non-black individuals who are in the same positions, if not higher. As long as there's going to continue to be a double standard, then you're never going to have people be able to feel like we're equal, and like racism is not an issue anymore in today's society. That's what I got beef with. I mean, I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love.